Welcome back to Security and Privacy in Cloud. I'm Jay Lavani, Assistant Professor of CS Department. So today we're going to see is about Unit 4, Cloud Security Design Patterns. Under this topic, we are going to discuss about secure on-premise internet access. So first of all, let us discuss about a secure on-premise internet access. So here, a secure on-premise internet access ensures that employees, devices, and applications within an organization's physical network can safely connect to the internet while protecting data, preventing cyber threats, and maintaining compliance. Okay, and one more thing is that if you're gonna use something like uh, secure on-premise to securely provide some on-premise internet access, you want to balance some performance or else usability and strong security controls. Some options we need to consider while taking some secure on-premise internet access. So first is that network design. Here the segmentation. So separate networks like example guest or staff or IoT using VLANs or subnets. And then firewalls, we have to use some enterprise grade firewall, example like Palo Alto or Fortinet to control some traffic. And next is that a demilitarized zone, like public facing some services in a demilitarized zone like web server. And for secure gateway and filtering, we have to use some web proxy or secure web gateway. We have to enforce the web filtering and logging. Example like Squid or Sophos. And for DNS filtering, you have to use tools like Cisco Umbrella or NextDNS to block some malicious domain. And next is the application control, where it uses some apps and services which can access the internet. And authentication and access control, we have to use the radius or LDAP integration, the network access to identity. And network access control, we have to use some solutions like Arab ClearPass or Cisco. And firewall rules to restrict the outbound access by the user group or the device as needed. And next is that monitoring and logging. So network monitoring tools like Zabbix or Nagiz or PRTG. And time we have to use some collect and analyze the logs by means of Splunk or WASE or ELK stack. And for encryption and VPN, we have to use some force HTTPS, which blocks the HTTPS sites or redact them. And VPN for remote access, we have to use some IP security or SSL VPN with some multi-factor authentication. And next, with the patch management updates, we have to keep all networking and endpoint devices up to date, where we have to use some centralized patch management like PDQ or deploy, etc. And physical security, if you concern, here we have to ensure a network hardware is secure in the lock server or network room. We have to use some tamper-proof cabling as well as access logging. Okay. Next, we are going to discuss is about how does secure internet access operate. By means of these two, is designed to inspect and protect the inbound as well as the outbound traffic between a user's machine and the public internet. So this can be accomplished in a couple of ways. The first one is that in-browser protection, and second one, cloud-based protection. So in in-browser protection, agents deployed in a user's browsers can inspect internet traffic on the endpoint itself. So this provides a secure and private web browsing without incurring latency or redirecting traffic to an inspection point. And cloud-based protection, a secure web gateway that we used to call as an SWG. Here it's deployed as a cloud service which can provide protection to an organization's entire workforce. And this solution works for all the devices, providing protection for all those that might be unable to support in-browser agent. So these are the two main operations, like protection which is needed for secure internet access. And next one is that we're gonna discuss about the protections or the main protections for the secure internet access. So we all know, like secure browsing solutions should provide protection against the main web-based threats that organizations face. They should include these five core things. Okay, so first one, malware protection. Second one, phishing protection. Third one, data loss prevention. Fourth one, credential theft prevention. And last one is the access control. Okay, so what is meant by malware protection? So here the users can be infected with malware via various web-based threads, or malware can be downloaded from phishing pages or delivered via the exploitation of a browser vulnerabilities. So once installed, the malware communicates with and receives instruction from attacker control servers via command and control communications. We used to call as a CTC. Okay, like command and control communication we used to call as a C2C. Okay. And next is that a secure browsing solution, what will be offering some comprehensive protection against a malware. All downloads should be inspected for malicious content in a sandbox environment, and that has to be sanitized using content design and reconstruction. And solutions should also identify and automatically remediate malware infections and virtually patch the vulnerabilities in users' browsers. And second one is that phishing protection. So here in the phishing attack, here are some of the common and effective threats to corporate cybersecurity. A successful phishing attack often leads some users to a web page that steals some sensitive information or delivers malware. A secure internet access solution should leverage the AI and heuristic analysis to identify some phishing pages. So this includes inspection of all form and password boxes and looking for a wide range of potential phishing indicators. The third one is that data loss prevention. So data breaches have become a regular occurrence, and the cost of a data breach to an organization is growing. Often these leaks are enabled by the negligent or some malicious employee behavior. So secure browsing solutions should be able to manage exposure risk for sensitive corporate information, and this includes blocking, sharing, or storage of sensitive information, or some unsanctioned social media, SaaS application, and file sharing services. And next one, credential theft prevention. So here the credential stuffing, which attacks are a major cyber threat that exploits widespread password uh, reuse. Okay, so credentials are breached from one site or used to gain access to an employee's other online accounts. And a secure browsing solution should protect against the threat of employees reusing the corporate credentials for online applications, or the solution should block the entry of company passwords into websites and alert administrators of attempts to do so. And last but not least, protection is that access control. So here in this access control, so the growth of you know remote work has blurred the lines between the personal and business device usage. Adult or gambling websites may include malicious content that puts corporate data and system at risk, and secure a browsing solution should incorporate URL filtering functionality, and thus enables an organization to block visits to inappropriate or dangerous sites and to protect against data breaches by disallowing the use of file sharing sites such as torrent. And how to choose these optimal internet access security solution is that the optimal internet access security solution provides both robust protection and a positive user experience. So five critical features of a secure browsing solution include like zero-day protection, or SSL traffic inspection, or seamless user experience, and scalability and simple deployment as well as privacy. So first one, 0-day protection. So here in zero-day protection, cyber criminals are continuously developing novel malware variants and deploying some new phishing pages. A secure internet access solution should leverage AI to identify and block unknown malware and phishing pages and SSL traffic inspection. So most internet traffic is encrypted and visibility into some encrypted traffic, which is essential to identify some web-based attack. A secure browsing solution should be capable of inspecting all SSL encrypted traffic without adding significant latency and seamless user experience. So many traditional secure internet access solutions, such as a remote browser isolation, which adds a significant latency and can prevent users from accessing the content, and secure internet access solutions should offer some low latency SSL inspection and use the CDR to sanitize infected content. And next, scalability and simple deployment. So remote work adds load on secure browsing solution and makes them more difficult for remote administrators to manage. A solution should be adaptable, scalable, and easy to deploy to meet the evolving needs of the business. And last is their privacy. So here, some secure browsing solutions expose some users' browser history or traffic to administrators. So these kind of secure browsing solution should provide protection while remaining compliant with the GDPR and other increasing stringent data privacy laws. Okay. So next is that advantages of secure on-premise internet access. First one, enhanced security. Second one, better control. Third one, compliance readiness. And last one, reduced risk of data leaks. So first one, enhanced security. So here, it protects against the cyber attacks or malware and data breaches. And better control here is that organizations have full control over the security policies and traffic monitoring. So compliance readiness, which helps meet regulatory standards like ISO 27001, GDPR, HIPAA, and reduce risk of data leaks. Here it prevents some unauthorized access and data exfiltration. Okay. So this is all about the just if I want to say some simple like example, I'll just secure on-premise internet access. So assume there is a medium-sized office setup around 50 users using some pfSense or open source or whatever maybe, following some type of code like staff and guest access and secure segmented network, internet filtering and logging, VPN for some remote access, IoT as well as printer isolation. So what they'll be doing is that from the internet, there will be some ISP modem, and from that the firewall, there is a pfSense firewall, and from there staff VLAN or guest VLAN or IoT VLAN. And from staff VLAN, a switch or Wi-Fi or guest Wi-Fi for IoT, they'll be using the printers or IoT sensors. And for internal LAN like ADNS or NAS workstation, something like that. So here the main thing is that the firewall. Okay, so like the access router, we can able to add some configuration for the segmentation and web filtering, and we can able to logs to some external syslog or ELP stack or some VPN setup, right? And switch why we are going is that if we are going for some managed switch, say VLAN cable, example like TP-Link or Jetstream or Ubiquiti, we can go for these kind of adapting rules for the staff as well as the guest. And secure controls, so here the wired firewall rules, we can block the inter-VLAN traffic except where we need it, and DNS filtering like PF blocker ng or next to DNS, and web proxy squid for caching and access control, and VPN, which allows the remote access to securely access internal LAN. Okay, like if we want to do some enhancement for this particular case, You can use some captive portal for the guest or some lightweight NAC, which allows only some known MAC addresses on LAN. And if fail in the sense like wide area network can go from dual ISP if available. Okay, so these are the advantages of secure on-premise internet access. So next, we're gonna discuss is about disadvantages of secure cloud interfaces. So first one, high cost, complex management, limited scalability, and latency issues. So what about high cost? So it requires investment in firewall or security appliances and IT stuff, and complex management, which needs some continuous monitoring and updates to handle the evolving threats, and limited scalability, which may struggle to support a remote user or global operations efficiently, and latency uses traffic filtering, which deep packet inspection can sometimes slow down the internet speed. Okay. So this is the on-premise internet security. So here you could able to see the network segmentation, where we are dividing the network into some secure zones, and secure Wi-Fi access. We have to ensure such that the secure wireless network access is going through, and then regular audit. Yes, this is main thing. As we are going for an ND or NAC, similar to that, here also they'll be doing some regular audit, which is conducted audit or some updates. Okay. And firewall and IDS, that is intrusion detection system. So here we have to deploy the firewall and intrusion detection system, and user authentication as usual, so implementing strong user authentication methods. Okay. And best practices, if you go in the sense like regular patching and updates, and like we have to ensure all the security systems are up to date. And second thing, like a zero trust security model, so we have to verify every request before granting access, and implement the least privilege access. The users should have only the access they need, and enable logging and monitoring. We have to use some assign tools like Splunk, ELK, or Microsoft Sentinel for some real-time threat detection. And the last is that like employee secure awareness training should be given to reduce phishing and some social engineering risk. Okay. Okay, I'll just show you the what are the internet access application to allow the users on a local network to access the internet security, like access control, content filtering, bandwidth management, logging, and reporting. And the core components, as I told earlier, like a web proxy or the DNS filtering or the firewall plus introduction detection prevention system and authentication system, as well as the VPN gateway and logging, and then SAM integration. And user interface, like we can go for some web dashboard with a real-time usage graph or policy configuration or bandwidth usage and block request log as well as alert. And implementation, if you think you can go for some squid, or which, which uses some PF block or some DNS filtering, and snort or free radius add and OpenVN, as well as Grafana for dashboard. And if you're going for some platform PF sense, that provides the additional tool. Like you might have heard about the snort tool, like you have done in the network security. And OpenVN is there, and similar to that access, first we have to install the PF sense, and we have to deploy either in a virtual machine, and we have to set some LAN or WAN interface, and we have to enable DHCP or assign some static IP address to the particular user or the devices. The second step is that we have to use some VLAN configuration, like we have to create some VLAN for the staff or for the guest or for IoT, like separate 10, 20, something like that. And the user authentication, we have to install free radios on PF sense. So, or you have to use some separate VM. You have to connect the free radius to active the directory or use some local user DB. We have to assign some user roles. Okay. And internet access control, like we have to install some squid proxy, and you have to add some squid guard, and you have to enable a pf blocker ng. And at last is that, like, install the snort, and we can be able to configure the IDS or IPS to detect or block some suspicious traffic. And you have to enable the logging as well as the email alert. Next is that we have to open VPN server, configure user certificates, or integrate the free radius. And monitoring and reporting, we have to send logs to the ELK stack like Elasticsearch or Logstash or Kibana. And Grafana for some visual representation can go for Prometheus. And we can create dashboards by nutrition alert, VPN session, or block the site. Okay. At last, we can go for the Capture portal where we can integrate with the free radius for the login. We can customize the landing page, right? So this is all about how can you set up this on-premise security. So I hope in this particular video we have discussed about how we can able to use the on-premise internet access, and what are the, how does it operate, like in browser as well as cloud-based protection, and what are the main protection for these kind of, we have discussed about the 5 things. And next is that we have seen the advantages, disadvantage, and the best practices that is used in on-premise internet access with a small example. Okay. So as a final touch, I would like to give like pfSense, if you're going that gives the UI full control. Okay. I hope this video gives a clear idea about the on-premise internet access. So we will see in the next video. So thank you all.